Little Barton.
Please sit down. Ready?
There we go.
Have a seat.
Grab your seats.
Where am I? Okay, I'd like to call the meeting on May 16th to order. If we all please rise for the pledge of allegiance. Yeah.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Cahill?
Present.
Councilwoman Capaldi? Present. Attorney Genesi?
Present.
Supervisor Nesbitt?
Here.
Councilman Dean?
Here.
Councilman Nam?
Here.
Okay, before we get to our recognition of properties and homeowners of historical homes in Webster, I first would like to read, she doesn't, the lady sitting next to me, Mrs. Ottenshot, has been given an award. She didn't even tell me about it. But I would like to read from the New York State Town Clerks Association. On behalf of the New York State Town Clerks Association, it is my honor and pleasure to inform you that Barbara J. Ottenshot, Town Clerk, has been awarded this association certificate as a registered municipal clerk. This prestigious award recognizes the professional complacency of Mrs. Ottenshot in fulfilling the responsibilities of her office. Certification is granted only after an applicant has demonstrated that they have met the stringent education and experience requirement established by NYSTCA. The New York State Clerks Association was founded in 1982 and is dedicated to promoting the professional development of town clerks across the state as administrative leaders. Membership offers town clerks and their deputies encouragement, specializing assistance, and continuing education relevant to professional and personal improvement that will enhance their ability to serve their constituents. We are very pleased to have Barbara as a member of our association and deeply appreciate your encouragement of her involvement with the association and the Registered Municipal Clerks Program. It reflects your understanding of the purpose of our association and your commitment to professional growth and development. We have notified your local newspaper of this award. An article on this accomplishment is a great opportunity to make your residents aware of the hard work and dedication that makes local government successful, and I hope you will encourage them to find out more about the people that make that happen. Congratulations to the town of Webster having your town clerk, Barbara Ottenshot, achieve the prestigious designation of RMC. Submitted by the Livonia Town Clerk, who is the RMC Committee Co-Chair.
What were you writing during all that?
I wrote Supervisor Nesbitt, red letter for
And I'm going
Congratulations.
to give you the letter for the record. How's that?
Thank you.
Congratulations, Barbara.
Thank you very much.
I just want to say how hard, Barbara is not only the town clerk, but Barbara is also the receiver of taxes. So she does a double duty here, along with the fact that all the FOIL requests that we get, she is responsible for keeping files of those and making sure that they get processed in a fast manner according to the law.
Thank you.
Okay.
And thank you for just always supporting me to do my job. I
Thank you.
appreciate that.
Alrighty, moving on, we'll go to our recognition properties and homeowners of historic homes in Webster. And Brett, go ahead.
Short people always have to make adjustments. It's always fine. Even in Hagedorn's and Wegmans, you have to get a tall person to help me. Our Historic Properties Committee has been doing this for a number of years. And we spend some of the year looking for properties, looking at properties that we feel answer the question, would the person who first lived here recognize it? It's really easy criteria. If somebody has sided the house, or they put in a bay window, or it's changed it. And so we were incredibly surprised to find the number of houses here in Webster who people have maintained the integrity of the architecture, and those houses are really our visible history. The buildings, I was just looking at the train that went through the village, and I think is that right on the lake up there? That, you know,
Correspond, yeah.
and bits of our history, we like seeing that. And so that's what we're all about, is to make sure that you're able to continue to see our visible history. Lynn Barton and I did a talk at the library last week with photographs of all the houses that we have given plaques to. And it's a lot of them, isn't it, Lynn?
69.
Yes.
Wow.
And we have 6 again tonight. So we do have a lot of visible history. Webster started out as a farming community, and many of those long-lasting buildings were farmhouses. And there's a particular architectural style, it's called gable front side wing, and you see them everywhere around town. And the ones that are brick are the ones that are the least changed, and we were surprised again to find how many have been just so well cared for. So we're here tonight to say thank you to 6 more people, and thank you to our town of Webster officials for helping this happen. Without you, we couldn't do this. And so we appreciate you immensely. Barry Dean is, and a special thanks to Barry, because he is your representative to the museum. And he's been.
Thank you.
You're well, thank you very much. So we're going to begin tonight with the earliest. We started out by only giving plaques to houses built before 1902. But then we discovered there were a lot that have maintained their integrity that are newer. And they're unique. And so tonight you're going to see some of the newer ones, but unique. So the first one you're going to see tonight is, actually was 1934. And our history person, the member of our committee, Mary Fran Grenier, is going to come up and present that plaque.
Come on, Bill. I'm not really doing the presenting, am I?
Oh.
Ron, come on down.
We don't want to.
Camera's right up there.
Oh, all right, so we'll be in good shape.
All right.
Okay. The first one.
The first one?
Yes.
I'll just say a few things about the home. The charming little Tudor Revival house, 80 East Main Street in the Village, has got to be one of the favorite homes for many, many people in our area. It's the only Tudor-style commercial building in the whole town, and it really looks like a storybook home, very, very unusual. It was built by the Rochester Telephone Company approximately 1934-35 to house the exchange for the 900 plus people in Webster who subscribed to get a telephone. And so this was in the early 1930s. And there are two other buildings very similar to it that the Rochester Telephone Company built. One of them is in West Henrietta, New York, and the other one is in Dansville. But I think ours is the best. It was, after 1961, there were just too many telephones for the building to handle. So it became a law office then. And now it is home to the popular and elegant Friday Brighton Hair Salon. And we'll be presenting the plaque to the owner, William Stats.
Get a couple pictures.
Oh, I'm here.
She's hiding from the camera.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Mary Fran, and thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. The next property is a bungalow, and we don't have many bungalows. There was kind of a time when we had a lot of farmhouses, and then the first housing development in Webster was in the village, the Shanks Tract, that was 1959. And so there's not that many bungalows, and this one is just a treasure. So Lisa McNamara, okay.
On a stroll through Webster Village, streets 37 Gordon Park will reveal a charming circa 1920 bungalow that Lori and Burley Chillicoe have lovingly cared for since 1997. This bungalow on a large lot with earthy, vibrant landscaping and was once part of an early planned development, Gordon Orchard Park. The bungalow style has a rich heritage. The word is anglicized Hindi, Bangala, meaning house in the Bengal style. Traditionally, a one-story house with a low-pitched roof, creating a wide porch or veranda that allows a cooling breeze. This style house was affordable, easy to care for, as no servants were needed. The popularity swept from west to east coast via magazines and pattern books. This land is a 1 1/2 story bungalow, features a dormer atop the side gable roof, decorative brackets under overhanging eaves with contrasting colors. On trim windows, they have various textures in the use of brick, and the wood siding and the wide porch framed by brick piers supporting the flared columns above. These design elements are indicative of the arts and crafts aesthetic popular in the 1920s and 30s. Also includes what may be Webster's first in-ground pool. Pretty cool.
Congratulations, Lori.
I'm gonna tell Pete Adams when he asks me what you're doing next, I'm gonna say it's earthy vegetation.
Oh,
Thank you.
Come on right up there and get a good picture of it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now I'm going to confess, I left my list in the car. And so, this date is 1890. Who is that? Is that Jan?
Yeah.
All right.
Come on in, Gene.
This is Jan Naokis, another member of the committee. She lives in a beautiful old brick house with a plaque.
Yes, you do. The first year we got our plan. Sharon and I lived in a home, so we started the committee with Dick Bates, and so we were the first to get our flags. That was nice. The building on 1890, but I don't believe anybody's here from our salon. Okay, this is 28 East Main Street. Webster was formed in 1840. This building was built in 1890. Just as Main Street businesses were starting to prosper, the year 1900 marked the turning point in the development of the village. The first bank and the Rochester Soda Bay trolley line linked Webster to Rochester. And this building served as the trolley station for Webster. It was built as a retail location with wide open windows and the wide molded framing. The building gives it a balanced and eye-appealing look. Many businesses have used the location, as well as the Webster Chamber of Commerce. Today, a prosperous our salon and spa and the owner, Scott Dennis, occupy the building, and they are maintaining the character of the architecture. So I believe they told me it's fine.
Probably still a little here.
Yes, right. They're busy.
You could get on the trolley in Rochester, you could get on the trolley in Webster, and it would take you right out to Sodas Point. Have a picnic, get on the trolley and come home.
And we had farmers who told us that they would put their cans of milk out by the road, and the trolley would pick them up and take them out to sodas. It was important to us. It really opened it up.
Until about 1930.
Yeah.
You know what happened in 1930? Around that time? Automobiles. And people could buy their own and drive themselves right out to Sodas Point. And people particularly enjoyed the ride on the trolley at this time of year, because the apples were all in bloom the whole way.
Right.
And then in the fall, the fruit trees, and then the fruit in the fall. So it was really a very, very important part of life here in Webster. Okay, our next one is 1886. That might be me. No, that's not.
No.
1886, so is that Jan again? All right.
And there, this is the Everett family, and they're here.
Really cool.
First council. Come on up. What's your name? And this is Stacy and Jerry Everett. They live at 237 Village Road. This home is a front gable side wing with decorative trim. And notice the shutters on the windows and the lintels above the windows. You can. Is it right here? Yeah, right here, see it? And the extra detail of a window at the top. The owners, Jeremy and Stacy Everett, found the build date 1886 on the foundation. There are 4 bedrooms, and the previous owners found many old bottles between the walls when renovating. Floors were replaced with the gymnasium floors from Geneseo and MCC colleges, right? The barn is said to be older than the home. There are 2 acres, and many old fruit trees remain on the property. If you look at the neighbor's house and this house, they look very similar in style. And it's said that two sisters originally built the homes together. We don't know who they were. But that's all they've heard, and so we put it in. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for maintaining your home. I did too, it's okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This next home, we have, there's kind of a span of years because they're not quite certain of the exact build date. So their plaque says 1856. And the Kaminsky family, you want to all come up, please? Actually, this property's been in their family for 93 years. 93 years for their family.
Joan,
Yes.
it's Barry.
Well, you're all dressed up.
We went to high school together.
You gave me a hard time.
93 years ago?
I went to school with his brother too.
Well, we're delighted you're here tonight. I've driven by this, we've all driven by this house for a long, long time. It's at 797 Hard Road. And as I read, you'll figure out where it is. It was built between 1856, 1858 on 178 acres of land. That's a lot. So it was a big farm. There are no fireplaces. And it was heated with a coal furnace. And then they had gravity registers, I think they're called. And the heat would go up. I lived in a house like that at one time too. Yes, exactly. Or we used to listen to my mother's bridge club. You can hear a lot of things, yes. In 1926, Joseph and Agnes Kaminsky, who had emigrated from Poland, purchased the property. It included a two-family house, 3 barns, a 3-unit chicken coop, a garage, and a 2-part outhouse. The main farming crop was winter wheat, and horses were used for plowing until a tractor was purchased in 1947. There were also cows, pigs, a large vegetable garden, fruit trees, and between 500 and 1,000 chickens, they told me. Much of their produce was sold at markets in Rochester. Now I'm gonna say this, it's not in my paper here, but maybe your husband told me about the fact that
Yes.
the produce would be taken to market on a truck. But sometimes, you know, to get out of Webster, you have to go up a hill.
It was, I call it the Dugway still.
The Dugway, yeah.
Ford Model T.
Yes.
Or Model 8.
Yeah, and so, in order to get that truck up the hill with the produce, they would back it up the hill.
Oh my God.
They couldn't go forward.
Lord.
Yeah. Yep, so they would back it up the hill on their way to market.
And then my brother-in-law said to my father, well, what about all the other traffic? He says, what other traffic? They were all backing their cars up.
So later 15 acres were sold to the Catholic Diocese of Rochester. 10 acres are now the home of St. Paul's Church, and the remaining property was developed for homes. The large aging barns were taken down, but a smaller barn, garage, and chicken coops remained. In 2008, 3 acres and home were sold to Kaminsky's great-grandson, Brian Colombo. That would be your son, okay. Thus keeping the property in the family for 92 years. Yes.
I spent a lifetime working in the highway department, so I go by your house
Yes,
many
that's right.
times a day.
That's right, you do, it's right across the street.
We have a note into
You do?
Wait, you gotta get an official picture. Ready?
That house is just beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So when you drive down Hard Road and you are right, you drive past the house on the left, and then St. Paul's is next. So it's very visible, very visible. Our last property is one that we've worried about for a long time. Thank you. So we kept our eye, the historic properties people, we kept our eye on this house for a long time. It is at 650 Ridge Road, kind of across from the bowling alley. Very early house, and was falling into great disrepair. I had a tour of it, and it's quite interesting. The beams in the roof upstairs in the attic are all tree trunks. And yeah, so again, the plaque says 1812. We think that's a tad early for the building, but we know there was a blacksmith shop there. We know that it was a stagecoach stop. And so it's been recently recited, so the original owner probably wouldn't recognize it, but it has such a wonderful history that we really felt. And also we wanted to say thank you to the person who has saved it. Peter Elder?
Yes. Is Philip here? He didn't come. Okay.
Come on up.
All right.
Do your thing.
I don't have much to add to what you said. So this home is particularly significant because it is one of the earliest homes in Webster. It was actually owned by Ebenezer Cook, who was one of the original settlers of West Webster. So he came here about 1812, and the house was built somewhere between 1812 and 1820. And then and from that point on, it served as a blacksmithy, it served as a tavern, and it was a stagecoach stop. So it has a huge amount of history to it, and it was in some disrepair. Mr. Donato, he took it under his belt to repair it. He took down the alien garage next to it, re-sided it, and hopefully it'll stay around for a lot longer. So, but it is one of the earliest houses in Webster, so why we want to recognize it.
So thank you all. Peter will take that. Thank you. We go out to lunch and meetings and have a good time. We will appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
Did I ever send you the list of all of the firehouses?
You have never, but I would appreciate if you would.
If I send it to Patty Ann, perhaps she could take a copy.
Okay, moving on. Next we have open to the floor. Is there anyone that would like to speak on any topic? Or engage the town board in any way? Seeing none, I will move forward to regular town business. We have consideration of approved purchase orders, bills, prepaid warrants, as submitted by the Director of Finance, Councilman Abbott, with the bills.
I did the bills, and I recommend that we pay this.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilman Crawley? Aye. Supervisor Nestor?
Aye. Also move to pay the prepaid warrants as submitted by the Director of Finance.
Second.
Supervisor Nestor?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilman Aye. Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
We have I will move to approve the budget transfers as submitted by the Director of Finance.
Second. Supervisor Nesbit?
Aye.
Councilwoman Shalby? Aye. Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
And next we have to move on to a resolution to consider a referral to the planning board for site plan review and recommendation for the issuance of an amended industrial use permit for the classic automation building expansion located at 800 Salt Road.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Chris Schultz. I'm a consulting engineer for the plans for Classic Automation. I'm here with Principal Fritz. And forgive me, I forget your last name, sir.
Fritz Rubeck.
Fritz Rubeck. As you can imagine, this is an addition relating to good business. Things are in need of expanding, and this addition is proposed to be located on the east end of the building. A few years ago, this was may have been a building that was occupied by Xerox Corporation. We prepared a site plan basically showing the addition and improvements. For the most part, it's all the utilities are connected internally, so you're not going to see any work or any disturbance out on Salt Road. Pretty straightforward from the standpoint of what it's going to be used for, and be happy to answer any questions.
What is the use of the addition? Okay, I can give some background. So, the building itself, it's owned by Salt Road Management, which I'm the owner of, and Classic Automation is the business there. And Classic Automation provides spare parts and repair services for factory automation computers. What we're primarily expanding is the warehouse. So we're basically storing circuit boards.
So are you going to be doing testing there as well, or just?
We have an existing testing facility.
So it's going to be warehousing and auto testing in
Yeah,
the expansion portion?
Yeah, so it's not cars, it's just basically circuit boards for these,
Parts.
yeah, that are
So
controlled.
basically it's an expansion and continuation of the original building.
Yes, exactly.
Are you going to hire any more employees?
We've been hiring all the time, so there's
Okay.
none exactly associated with this.
Okay.
But we're up to 52 people. I spoke here when we moved in, when we purchased the building in 12 and moved in 13. We had 18 people when we moved in. We're 52 people now. And there's another company in the building too, Automation Evolution, which does engineering services. That's an additional 5 people. So 57 people in the building now.
Very good.
Very good.
Very good, thank you. This go out to planning board? This is referral to, I'm sorry.
Yes, right, this is
Okay, referral to. Okay, any questions from the town board members at this point in time? Okay, I will move, refer to the planning board an application for an industrial use permit regarding lands commonly known as tax account number 066.03-1-83.1, known as 800 Salt Road. Whereas the previous industrial use permit had previously been granted to this property, the last being September 6, 2012. Town board referral to the planning board. The planning board should make a determination as to whether the proposal use is appropriate under Town Code Section 225-20. Whereas the lands are in the industrial zone, pursuant to Webster Town Code Section 225-20A, the uses are permitted. Whereas pursuant to Webster Town Code Section 225-20-D1, an industrial use permit is required before commencement of any use in the industrial district. That the application, together with all supporting documents, be referred to the Town of Webster Planning Board for its review and recommendations. That the Planning Board, as soon as practical, after completion of site plan review procedure under Webster Town Code Chapter 228, shall submit a report of its findings with its recommendations for approval, conditional approval, or disapproval of an industrial use permit to the town board. The town board consents to any request of the planning board that the planning board be designated as a lead agency for coordinated review procedures for the proposed action under the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act.
Second. Supervisor Nesbit?
Aye.
Councilwoman Cottrell? Aye. Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Okay, you're all set.
Thank you.
Planning board.
Good luck.
Next, we have a resolution to approve the transfer of $8,174.04 from the Parkland Trust Fund to the General Fund Technology Department surveillance cameras for Kent Park. A couple weeks ago, we did the same thing for cameras at the First Responders Park, and after the town board talked about it, we felt that we needed to put cameras over at Kent Park also. We recently had a car that buried itself up to the axle on one of the ball fields in this wet weather. We have decided to put some cameras up there also. This gentleman didn't move because he was stuck, but if that were to happen again, we want to know who's doing it and try to get a plate number and make them responsible for any damages that they do to our parks. So this will be an investment from the Park and Trust Fund to the General Fund Technology Department so they can buy the cameras and get them installed with the electric and the poles that they need. And we then will have surveillance 24 hours a day at Kent Park.
Essential resolution.
Please. Yes.
Second.
Supervisor Nesbit?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilwoman Cottrell? Aye. Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Okay. That will end tonight's meeting. We can take a call in, 872-7011, 872-7011 for anyone that would like to call in on any topic. And I'm sure Mr. Herbst is here and is going to talk about moles. Go ahead.
I'd rather talk about lake levels, but
Talk about lake levels.
mulch is going, it's going very well. Actually, the delivery has definitely panned out, and people are very receptive of paying $50 to have mulch delivered in their driveway. So that's gone off almost twice what we expected. So it's starting to slow down a little bit, but the gardens are all, we're getting into the season now, everything's up and growing, so it's starting to wind down a little bit. We still have some mulch left, but no worse for the wear. So it's going well.
Gonna get rid of it all?
What's that?
Gonna get rid of it all?
Probably not.
No?
It'll be close, but the delivery definitely helped exhaust some of the inventory, so without a doubt.
What if the rain is impacted?
Oh, rain, yeah, without a doubt. It's happened in 2017, which caused us to sit on a mountain of it. So, yeah, so.
Hopefully things will improve. Because we'll
I
start.
can't imagine it getting worse.
Next week's not looking too good.
So, no, but we've been extremely busy in the sandbag business, as you can imagine. Ron and I met today with Homeland Security, and I had a meeting afterwards at Brighton, and we had some correspondence with IJC, and it looks like we will be probably under forecast at or exceed 17's elevations. So that'll be.
You're already at it now, aren't you?
No, we're close. We're in about 5 inches, probably 6 inches, maybe 4. So, but we're getting there. We're in 2017 we did 30,000, just over 30,000 sandbags. We're at 12,000 now, but the demands we're delivering, which is it's definitely helped out the residents. It's like having a chaos at the shop and having them come pick up 800, 1,000 bags. We're delivering it, but we're producing as well as getting from the state. But we're having to go to Sodas to get them. Right now they have a lot sitting on the ground out there, but
Full?
Yeah, filled, but with anticipation that this will probably be. But we're in actually better shape than we were. I think a lot of the properties, some of the properties had done permanent fixes to isolate themselves from high water. It doesn't look like this is going to go away. But we're in the sandbag business right now. The part of the dilemma is not only the wet weather shoves us off on our normal operations, but it's even crack sealing, any of the patching, everything is on hold right now because everything is so wet. So The only thing that's picked up is sandbag and drainage, obviously. You know, there's a lot, the ground is saturated, water table is not that deep, so we're getting a lot of calls for backyard puddles, but right now they're low on the priority poll. Unfortunately, people like to hear that, but it's reality. You can't get everything, and obviously with 22 miles of shoreline, we have other responsibilities, so we keep tending to that. Keep I know Karen had put stuff on there as far as sandbags, with us getting out there and putting sandbags out. We do have some places that are misusing it, and they think they can put them along the lake shore for erosion control, and they won't withstand that kind of action. The only caveat or saving we've had so far is there's been no major winds. It's been quiet right now. In 17, we got pounded up by north and northwest winds, which raised havoc on the lake shore. But right now we're in better shape than we were in 17. I would hope that some of that is wisdom and experience.
Prepared.
But yeah, better prepared. But all we ask is that if people have questions on how to install them, look at the website. You go on the town Facebook page, and it'll either take you to a link from FEMA and or Homeland Security, or we have a pamphlet on there as well. Just a quick reference as to the proper way to install them to gain the most out of them. I would rather they be used properly than misused and wasting our efforts.
Well, thank you for doing that. I know I shared with you that up in North Country, we've got some property that the sandbagging process is, you go to the local fire department and there's a pile of sand and a pile of bags, and it's bring your own shovel. So to have them delivered to the place is really a wonderful benefit. Thank you for doing that.
We found this year too, more so like even on Stony Point or down in some of the private drives where our homes are 70 feet above water level, but the toe of the slope is been compromised. And I know in 17 we lost a good chunk of the peninsula. So this year I think the homeowners are doing a better job recognizing that and covering it as well. So let's pray that the winds stay calm. And I think the high water will be in itself, you know, a challenge, but the winds are something we can't really control.
And there is a state of emergency, right?
Yes, county executive, and I'll put a state of emergency on the running quite bad, 5 miles per hour.
Not just run, but all the ways, round pond, buck pond, long pond.
But in this weather, nobody's out there anyhow right now. So,
And then even if they hold that, if and when we do reach peak, which initially they had forecasted June 7th to 10th, somewhere in there. Not sure if that will be peak or not, but even then, they can only, when they do start opening the gates, they can only exhaust a foot a month. So this will be with us till like Labor Day before you see it almost per month. 1 foot a month. But you also got to realize that you've got 5 Great Lakes feeding St. Lawrence, and 3 of those lakes are at record highs right now. It takes Lake Superior 2 years for that water to make the mouth of the St. Lawrence. So if they're high now, this is going away.
okay, a couple things. Ridge Park Playground over here across from Town Hall has been closed. The parks employees have been taking out the old playground equipment and getting the surface ready for new playground equipment with a rubber surface and during the summer. So right now, Ridge Park is closed for any playground activities. There are other parks in the town on our website that you can go to, but Ridge Park is closed. Town Times is coming out. It's been out last couple of days. In there, we put in a open space preservation map that shows what the town board has saved over the last years, over 3,113 acres. But I got a couple calls from some older citizens that said they couldn't read the map because the print was small. And that is correct, because it can only get so much on a page. But if you go to our website and click on our website, go to the left-hand column where it says Town Open Space, you click on there, the map will come up in bigger format, and you can read the streets that the open space is next to that they were looking for. Couldn't get it on a full page, I couldn't get it on 2 pages on a document. But it is on our website. If you go to the town website, left-hand side, click on open space, it'll take you to the map, and then you press the bottom, the link on the bottom that enlarges it, and you can see the streets. Okay? Tuesday, there is a important vote in the town of Webster. We have 30,000, get that, 30,000 people eligible to vote on Tuesday. It's a school vote, not only for the school vote, but for school candidates, for the school board. There's 3 of them up this year. 30,000 eligible people, and usually we get 3,500, okay? That's not a good showing, people. That's not a good showing. So, gotta get out and vote. That's why we have elections. And if you don't vote, you can't gripe about your taxes if you don't vote. So you gotta vote. Okay, so get out there. The polls are open till 9 o'clock at night, 6 in the morning. Right? Yeah, 6 in the morning till 9 at night. It's all day. Go out and vote for the school board candidates as we move forward. Also, Memorial Day Parade is coming up. Those veterans gave us that right to vote. And we will have a Memorial Day Parade on the 27th of this month. The lineup starts at the Spry Middle School at 9 o'clock. The parade takes off at 9:30 and goes to the Webster Cemetery there, and where there will be a service at the end of the parade. So those are other things that are coming up. Barbara, are you still collecting taxes?
I am, but before we talk about that, I wanted to remind everyone that they can only vote at Webster Schrader High School. That is the only site that you vote for school budget. For or against, we should say. Taxes, Monroe County just sent out late notices to anyone who had any balance due at all left on their tax bill or tax account. And I like to let everyone know that it's a really great thing that they do that, because sometimes people have changes with their mortgage. They pay off their mortgage, they refinance, and sometimes the communication between the mortgage company and the customer isn't smooth, and sometimes they do not receive their tax bill. And we always remind everyone, if you are supposed to be paying your taxes, if you do not get it within the first week of January, please call us, or you can go online and get it, or in September, the same thing. We have people that come in sometimes and they're upset, but their mortgage company sometimes requests their bill. And we don't know what's going on because they haven't called us. We keep a file of everyone that has changes, so if you aren't sure if your taxes are paid, please give us a call, or you can go online and check if they're paid at the Monroe County website. It's www.monroecounty.gov. Just click on view pay taxes, or give us a call at the tax department. And we continue collecting taxes till the end of May, and after that, the County of Monroe will continue collecting them with additional interest.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? I just got one more comment. Tomorrow is May 17th. If you see Barry Dean, tell him happy birthday. So,
Who else?
just to
Tom
let you-
DeSolo.
Tom DeSolo.
All right, you gonna sing?
No, I'm not saying, I'm not
Lead
saying.
us in a little sing.
No, that's not it. Anybody, anything
Thank you.
else? Nothing? Okay.
I'm glad you're feeling better. Happy early birthday.
Yes.
The next meeting, we have 5 Thursdays in this month. We do not meet on the 5th Thursday, so our next meeting will be on June 6th. Thank you. Good night. Have a nice holiday.
Good night.
Don't drink and drive. Thank you.